23rd of September, 1:30 a.m. A haunting, chilly breeze brings a heavy fog rolling over the wet dirt road just outside of Dublin. It seems like even the moon is hiding behind the clouds at the grisly sight of a mangled body laid against the rocks. The pool of blood spreads out from under the corpse, swallowing the light tan stones in an infernal red grip. The moon is right to be scared. Even I would be, if I didn't need to do what I do, be what I need to be. And I need to be the man to bring whoever did this to justice. The wind makes it difficult to keep my coat under control. Perhaps it's also afraid, knowing I'm not far from the culprit now. The only light I get is the dull glow of the overcast moon, and a single dim street lamp in the distance. Between the fog and the shadows, it's a wonder I can see at all. After tracking this madman for weeks, it seems he's finally slipped up. A small string of thread, caught between two small rocks, wriggles in the breeze next to the crimson puddle, almost as if it too was desperate to escape. I crouch down, pick up the thread to examine it. As I keep a gentle grip on it with two fingers of a gloved hand, I suddenly feel it all slowly come together, and it becomes as open to me as a macabre picture book. Just as with the last 3 victims, the killer used another large tool, most likely a heavy wrench. He'd lured her to this area, perhaps driven her here himself, which made it easier to creep up on her and attack from behind. Once again, he'd taken the murder weapon with him. A smart move considering this intriguing slip-up. He'd legged it immediately. That much was clear from the footprints in the dirt, too deep and too far apart for a gentle saunter. Drove off in a hurry as well. The tyre marks in the dirt were fairly fresh, and it kicked up a good pile of rocks as the tyre spun hard on his way out. It hadn't happened too long ago, perhaps only several hours, judging from the lack of odour that comes with decomposition. If it weren't for the weather, the poor lass probably wouldn't be nearly as cold. This one was sloppy, rushed. The killer was desperate, maybe even panicked, as he should be. But none of that narrows it down quite like this thread. A single tiny thread that cut the suspect list from hundreds down to single digits. It doesn't match the victim's outfit at all. It came from a cheap suit, polyester, most likely one from some unassuming clothing store in the country. Explains his eagerness to leave. He clearly lives far outside the city, but not by much. But in his rush, the thread came off after his suit jacket brushed against a rusty traffic sign on the side of the road, right next to the body, and tore it. An acquaintance of the victim, perhaps friendly with his community, and knows many people, including the victim's families, who frequents a small clothing shop outside the city. Has access to heavy tools, perhaps close to a mechanic if not one himself. And in all probability, he'll be fierce nervous. I stare down the street, my gaze vaguely aimed at the lone street lamp in the distance. First thing to do is call in the body, tell the local Garda what I know. Next is to cross-reference all towns and villages nearby for mechanics' garages and small clothing shops. Finally, the local police and all the lucky candidates will get a call letting them know they'll be getting a visitor. And some good news regarding the bastard who's been on the loose. He's not getting away this time. The wind dies down a bit as I reach for my mobile, and I can't help but smile. This is Inspector Julian Shead. Case closed.